And away we go. Hello, welcome to another edition of the Big Freakin' Friday on the College Football Mafia Network. I'm your host, Nathan Bomber Brown. With me are my partners in crime, trying to keep this whole show running, and Ute showing up late. We're going to go mowing first, then we'll go Wild Ute, then we'll go Rock and Rant. How we doing tonight, guys?
I'm doing great. I'm in beautiful Miami Beach. Getting ready for the Miami members only stream afterwards.
I love it.
Got myself a little cocktail here.
Excellent.
Got my beach clothes on. Grew my goatee out.
I think you look great.
I know.
Rock, how you doing?
Brother?
Rock.
I am good, man. It's an interesting day. A lot of stuff going on, and we're going to talk a lot about Miami. We're going to drop some news and exciting stuff. So excited for the Friday afternoon.
And Ute, since you came in here last, you get the last word.
Go Utes.
Okay,
Crush the Big 12.
You can finish that. Sorry, I thought you were done. What'd you say about the Big 12?
I said that, there's been a lot of banter recently about Utah and the Big 12 and everything, and I can't wait for this football season.
Well,
I cannot wait for the
Did you hear what that one Utah fan said?
I've seen it all. What did it say?
Did you write it down, Moen?
Yeah, hold on here.
Okay.
Well, maybe.
They've been sucking you. Oh, my gosh. You're sick of it. I get it.
One more time for feeling.
They've been sucking you, and sucking you.
Oh, my gosh.
You're sick of it. I get it.
Oh, brother.
that's so bad, Moen. Oh, man, that's hard to hear.
The ACC's been teetering on the edge of destruction for a while.
Yes, it has.
We haven't even gotten to the ACC yet. Wait till we get to the ACC. Yet. This Miami stuff, guys, there's some good red meat here. I can't wait to present that later on today.
So we have a little over 85 minutes to get through the news today, along with your comments. Please follow us all on Twitter. Please turn on your notifications, and then also subscribe on YouTube. And that way you know when our shows are on and when we're doing tweets. I'm probably the most active tweeter here, and I will engage with you as long as you show respect. And I try to do the same thing. So we really engage in those things. That's one of the things we pride ourselves on. And I'm really looking forward to meeting up with more people. So make sure you follow us all on Twitter and turn on your notifications. Last thing is we have a membership deal. How does that work, Moen?
Sure. If you want to become a member and you're watching on desktop, just scroll down below the video. Right next to the subscribe button is a join button. Alternatively, you can just roll down to the cash sign and become a member from there. Gift a membership if you're feeling magnanimous, or leave us a super chat. $5 super chats can request the Suckin' It remix.
And it's good. It's good. It's got better music. The whole thing.
I hate the Suckin' It remix, man. Oh, gosh.
I remix the remix.
It's going to be fun.
Gosh,
we're going to do
so
it.
Cringe, man.
I also want to make sure that everybody knows the members, when we do comments, I always defer to members' comments. Regular comments, go ahead and give them to us. But, we may or may not make it to them. And then, of course, all super chats we read and we engage with. It's not just read and move down the road. We really try to answer questions and whatnot. On Wednesday, we had one member, right, Moen? Mm-hmm. Ryan signed up last Wednesday, and this popped up in our screen today. So I'm going to welcome Ryan to the show again. You want to give him a sounder there, Moen?
Sure. Here's this one.
I am the milkman. My milk is delicious.
I am the milkman. All right. So that's how it's going to go. So we have 90 minutes of news and notes and conversation. And then what comes on at the end of the show, Ute?
Oh, gosh, we are really going to get into it. Miami, Big 12, Miami, Big 10, where Miami stacks, where Miami's viewership, expectations versus what happened last year in particular. Again, like looking at historical viewership, Big 12, Big 10, finding out exactly where they fit into both spots. So we are absolutely going to get into it. A lot of new content, A lot of new stuff. Excited to show that and have a long discussion. The most comprehensive discussion you will ever dream of will be had about Miami and their realignment options. I promise you that.
And to be clear, outside of things you've already seen, I have no idea what he's going to present. So you may or may not ever see me again after today. But it would be worth a membership right now for potential meltdown that would make milk and udders and sucking at it look like it was PG.
You know what, Rock? You've been sucked a little bit too. You've been milked quite a bit over on the Miami side. You are the third highest viewership team in the ACC. So it really is Forest.
We're like the skim milk. FSU is like whole milk, right? And Clemson is, I don't know, 2% something.
Something like that, yeah.
I tell you what, this is the type of conversation people can only hold here. Nobody else does this like we do. Anyway, I appreciate you prepping that. So that's a members-only show coming directly after this one in 90 minutes or so. And we're going to drop right into it. Close this one out, start that one up, and that'll be a members run back and forth. We're going to tell you what the data says on Miami, and then we're going to engage with you guys about what you think about that. So I'm looking forward to that. Just so you know, it's members only. Down at the bottom, I've got a little streamer going, banner saying basically what you need to do to become a member. And members only. Just want to make it that clear. If somebody's trying to get in there and they can't find it, it's because you're not a member. So, all right, let's get some shout outs.
Get it done. It's going to be worth your while.
Okay, we're going to run through these. I'm not going to read them all. I just have to say hi. Timothy Grain, Buckshot Kid, David Hackett. Let's see, TF Williams. We got Florida State stuff, TF. Go Blue, baby. Moen, I was going to make you read that one. TF Williams again. Rock Chalk 94. How you doing, Rock? None. Let's see. College Football Mafia. That's us tweeting. Rock and Rant. Bob Swinger is in the house. Good to see you, Bob. You're a new member. We appreciate you.
What's up, Bob?
Let's see. Chef Mall 7. Let's go Canes. All right. Well, I guess we know why he's here. Mark Bateman. Is that right? Bowman. Antoine Codes. One of my favorites, actually, is Antoine Codes. Love that name. Cleveland Rocks. Illini Ted. Look at all these members, you guys.
Ooh.
Friends call me Sean. They're all loaded for this members video. Sergeant Pickles, one of our contributors. Cougar Tracks, a recent new subscriber. We've had him before as a member. He's back again. Lee, friends call me Sean. Nathan, how you doing? It's good to see you. You have my namesake, so we're good there always. All right, we're gonna drop right into the news. Let me get my banner up here so everybody knows what we're doing.
You forgot something.
Oh, please go ahead.
Sergeant Pickles has been a member for 11 months.
Yay!
Let him cook. The OG.
He says, Georgia Tech, Syracuse, bow down and bottoms up.
Let's go get drunk.
He's hilarious. I love that. All right. Thank you for being here, Pickles. We really appreciate it. And there's your drinking game, guys. If you hear Georgia Tech or Syracuse, just like Sergeant Pickles said, take a swig. But we're telling everybody you got to be legal to drink and no driving after the show. Bottom line. Oh, I actually want to should I do that now? Next week, we're going to start our podcast. We're going to have a podcast shows. We're going to take ones we've done in the past and upload them for the people who want to read them or hear them. But then we're going to start adding new content, maybe members only stuff. It should be a lot of fun. So look forward to that next week. You want to say anything else about that, Rock?
No, obviously, we'd love to get the feedback for those of you once we publish it that you're checking it out. And if we're missing, once we announce that it's done, that we're not on a specific service, just drop a note into the social media or into a chat in a future episode.
That would be really great. We're looking forward to that. It gives us more engagement. It's just another way we're trying to work hard to earn your loyalty. All right, let's go straight to news. Let me bring this up. Share screen. All right. We're here. Here we go. Okay. Let me put off my pinned messages. Okay, first thing I'm going to start with is this Mitt Winter subs and basically shortened a Dennis Dodd article and shrunk it down to 4 pages. I just want to really go through what he's saying here. He's talking about NIL. He's talking about the House settlement, which may or may not get approved, and then other things, maybe a little Title IX even. So I'm going to read through these. After each page, I'm going to stop for comments. You guys, if you have comments or questions, please add to it, okay? All right. First one is, let's see. Whole series. Nope, that's the wrong one. I apologize. I think it's the second one. Okay. But what if the Big 12, this is Dennis Dodd, or other conferences were able to pull off a bolder move? What if they were to funnel some of that private equity money through the conference itself as a way to avoid Title IX gender equity laws? As it applies in this case, schools must provide scholarships that reflect the rate of participation in an athletic department. I do believe it's 1-to-1. You have, if one men's, you have to match it with the women's. Skirting Title IX would conceivably be a tremendous recruiting advantage. A school could theoretically award an overwhelming share of that revenue money to football and basketball players without Title IX consequences. So my questions to you guys, I mean, that's popping right there. Basically saying you could skirt federal law. What do you think about that?
That's one of the worst ideas I've ever heard. I'm serious. That's the craziest idea. Like, you think that you're going to get away with that? Let's just borrow money over here and fund it to the guys so we can avoid the girls. You think the girls won't figure that out, guys? This is the worst idea I've ever heard, seriously, because it's so dang expensive anyway to get private equity money. And if you're going to funnel it in NIL programs, that's a huge waste of money. You're killing your future ability to earn any revenue and stuff. And you're trying to hide it in a shell game to the girls. And like, they're going to figure that out. That's not hard to figure out where the private equity money is, what you're doing there. That's lawsuit city. That ain't going to work. And that's just foolery right there.
Mo, and you're nodding your head.
Yeah, I was going to say, look, if you do this, the politicians are going to be pissed off that you're getting in their game. So
Maybe.
Don't be funneling dark money through private equity guys. They don't like competition when they're stealing.
And Rock, what do you think?
I think we have a drug epidemic in this country of people who are completely delusional because they live in their own bubble and they want to extrapolate it across every single part of their life, as opposed to there's literally no way that's going to happen in the most conservative academic institution in America. Thank you.
Like, how can that even be an idea that like is put out in like a reputable article? Like,
Yeah,
that is nuts. Like,
that's why it stood out to
that would
me.
even be like surfaced,
Right. Well, I think
Man.
people are still trying to sort out what they want to do with money if they get it.
Yeah.
Right. We've given the template, right? Greg, Peek Around the Corner, talked about what we've covered, which is the financing for buying and helping schools leave the ACC. Greg Flugar, Peek Around the Corner, his whole show tonight is on that. We've been covering that for how many months, Ute?
For a while. Yeah, I think we had a deep conversation on Tuesday about
We did.
there's only one way to use private equity, and that's to buy out the ACC. And that's the only legitimate reason to have it. And that's the way to deploy it too. That's the good long-term source of use of those funds and stuff, and you'll get the best return out of that rather than spending on your budget on some NIL money for a 3 or 4 star recruit.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. So that's the only way that it makes logical sense to use private equity funds.
What I like is that it's nice when the creators support each other. He went out and talked to a money perch somewhere in the Big 12 and chased that down. So I know if he had the idea from us, but certainly he went out there and found somebody that would talk about it. So they're talking about it. That's the cool thing, I think. All right, next one. This is all right, I'll just read it. No light at the end of the legal tunnel. Fewer acknowledging the possibility of Judge Claudia Wilkin not approving. This is the House settlement. Not approving the forward-looking piece of the House settlement, perhaps as early next month. Len Simon is, though. I don't know what that references to. The veteran Len Simon is the reference for the next paragraph. The veteran litigator of over 100 class action cases says Wilkins' approval is not a foregone conclusion. The part of the settlement to which he's referring covers the revenue sharing aspect, where the Power Four schools each fund up to $22 million. Talked about it a ton here per year for the next 10 years to pay the players. The problem already noticed by some is the cap amount, which is on its face seems to be more antitrust. It is a lot of collusion, that number. So what do you, first of all, I when it first came out, and I'll say this, and let me get rid of this so we can see all of us. When this first came out, I might have been, I don't want to say it invented it, but I bet you in the top 10 of people that said that G5 isn't in here. If the G5 is not even in the room to negotiate, to protect their interests, how do you expect them? They were basically strong-arming, over half of all the participants in college football. Weren't even at the table to negotiate this thing. And they thought they would just basically shove it over them, get it to the judge, and the judge would approve it. Now this guy's saying, not so fast. Sorry, I can call on somebody. Rock.
Well, I was going to say, it's to me, it's less about that specific aspect from what I read, and more about what makes anybody think they're going to bind this to athletes that haven't even enrolled, that were not even second hand in the room when it was being negotiated, right? If the G5 schools approved it or whatever they didn't, I can't even remember anymore because it's just jumbling up in my head. But class of 2026 athletes had no representative there. They aren't part of a class action. They're not retroactive. So, I mean, multiple people who've been logical about it on this channel and others have been like, how are you doing this without collective bargaining? Whether it's as employees or contractors and a union or a guild, that's what it seems to be the question that jumped the most to me.
Moen.
Yeah, until this is settled, it's up in the air. I mean, I don't want to linger on it too long because it's just like most litigation, it just drags on and on and on. Billable hours remain undefeated.
Seriously.
Don't you think it also goes to the fact that getting anything through this Congress before Election Day is possible for college stuff? That idea is so crazy. I've never thought that would happen. Go ahead, you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so just trying to understand, this is kind of wild because it seemed like it was a completely done deal, right? And then all of a sudden,
that's how they acted.
Yeah, that's kind of, that was the assumption that everybody's saying, we forced the sucker through. This is how it's going to be. And then based on recent articles here, it seems like it's certainly not a done deal. So what the heck do you do if the House settlement isn't a done deal? Go back to the drawing board? Is that kind of what we're talking about here?
No, you pinky promise. You pinky promise.
Dude,
it's the alliance. The alliance.
You pinky promise like Clemson and the ACC. That's what you do. We won't do anything bad.
They had their fingers crossed, bro. Everybody knows.
I'm still optimistic that this will actually nuke the NCAA. Actually, so if this thing doesn't go through, then can we get rid of the NCAA finally? That is that's the biggest win of all and everything. Let's just govern ourselves and everything and break this sucker away like it needs to be done.
Totally agree.
Who's the first school when that happens that then complains about the replacement of the NCAA to the background of who meet the new boss, same as the old boss?
I think the first school to complain if there was a breakaway of the A4 would be Boise State.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones getting housed the most, and San Diego State and Tulane and the top G5 programs, because they're probably not going to be included in that type of deal. I'd be squawking if I was a Bronco fan like that.
Let me read the last two paragraphs of this. It says, this is a criticism that has emerged in the House settlement. No actual athletes had a voice in the final settlement, a decision that will affect them for at least the next decade. You usually don't rejigger an industry with such a decision, said this attorney who is protecting athletes in the 9th grade. And I think that's a valid point, right? All right. So I'm done with that one. I'm going to close those out so I don't have to keep them up. Next thing I want to mention, and this is for you, Rock. Let's preview this guy. Who is that?
That is Alonzo Heith, who is a Miami legend. He's one of the two guys who probably built the initial culture under Howard Schnellenberger, national champion, a first-round draft pick after winning a national title at Miami. And then he went on to a pretty impressive career in the professional ranks, working at in senior personnel roles with Cleveland and Green Bay and Seattle. Shout out, Becky. And you, right? I guess actually.
That's right. I knew that. Yeah.
And then he went back to his alma mater for a couple of years as GM football operations, some specific title that I'm botching right now. And he just recently left to go back to a role with the new Patriots front office as a senior personnel executive. And our news today is that he will be on the show on Tuesday, talking to these other three guys. So we're really excited about that. Not just from, it's not a Miami thing, though it certainly has that aspect, but just he's been around during all of this NIL stuff, and his role has always been about evaluating colleges and players and scouting. And he's been on, probably every campus and every athletic department center of all the schools that we generally are talking about over the course of his career. So a lot of great insight we can get from him, plus just recency about being at Miami and what has happened over the last while. So definitely excited to do that, and super appreciative that somebody doesn't have to do that, is kind enough to do that for us.
Mm-hmm. Moen, or you want to add anything to that?
I can't wait for the conversation. It's going to be awesome.
I love it.
We'll get into some really good stuff here. We're going to get into some Miami Hurricane stuff from like outsiders' perspectives, getting his perspective also. Then, player evaluations. Get into some player evaluations because, this is a man that you want to talk to and understand his experience and the NFL process too. So, lot to cover. Great guest.
And
nice job, Rock, for setting that up. Thank you.
Absolutely. This is all Rock. Tip a hat to Rock for sure. Moen, did you want to add to that? Maybe.
Winner.
There we go. Understated.
I think he also had like a 27-1 record after his football career went because of his knee as a boxer. So,
wow,
he could take a punch too.
He's a big dude for sure. All right, thank you again, Rock, for setting that up. So that's Tuesday night, 8 Eastern, right here on our channel, so everybody knows. All right, next one is I've hit the wrong button. Sorry. Next one is this. This is a 365 Sports interview. I can't remember if it was today or yesterday. And they interviewed this Tim Sullivan, and he's the Louisville sports reporter. And I'm just going to read the headline. His headline says, competitively, the ACC is in a strong position. Financially, it is not. So what do you guys think about that? Now, we've talked about the ACC. We've talked about the finances. Here's a Louisville guy, right, that is invested in the ACC. And the whole interview, it sounded like they were getting ready to apply for the Big 12. What do you think of that?
I think that he's right on. And he did mention in that interview, too, that Louisville, like there's some smoke maybe about Louisville, being interested in Big 12, but there's like not formal conversations. We know that that's not going to be happening, right? Until Louisville breaks free. But you'd bet, speculating here, there's probably back channel communications going on. We already know that Louisville is a slam dunk fit for the Big 12. The Big 12 wants Louisville. Louisville kind of seems like they want Big 12. And so that's going to be such an easy match right there. That's going to happen, guys. That is going to happen. Seriously, like that is the most easy puzzle piece you can see on the board right there. Louisville jumping over the Big 12. It's just all about timing. When's it going to be? Is it going to be tomorrow? Is it going to be in the year? I don't know. That's the question there. But Louisville is going to end up in the Big 12. And I think that interview was just evidence of that.
Let me post the link in there. All right, I just put the link for the interview after our show and after our members show. Feel free to go watch that. It was really good. Tim Sullivan, I'm going to try to get him on the show. Rock, you want to say anything about it? Do you know him, by the way?
I do not,
Okay.
But I thought that the interview was pretty interesting for sure. And, it almost happened or it should have happened years ago, right?
Right.
It was close. I don't really know how that one got botched. That, they've done well in the ACC, but maybe not as well as they were hoping.
Right.
I feel you on that one too. So I'm not casting dispersions, but it'll be a great get. It's the most obvious one to me, like without even seeing every analysis that you're going to do on every school forever. But that is the most like you kind of know it when you see it zone.
Mm-hmm.
Moen, you want to add to that at all?
Yeah, Louisville's a Big 12 school and everything but the conference they're in.
Yep. And by the way, he was super cool. He talked well about the Big 12. I think they're really resigned, in my opinion. He wasn't confrontational or defensive. And we talked to somebody else about Louisville a couple months ago. He basically said the same thing. So I think it's going to be a great fit. On top of football, Louisville brings what?
Basketball.
Right.
Dominance.
National championships, baby.
And the Big 12 just goes from strength to strength. But it's
They might be the most chill school out of all the ACC in that regard, right? Like Florida State and Clemson have stress about what's happening, and then you're not sure where. Miami's like, what are we doing? Wake Forest is, please don't leave us alone. And Louisville's like, yeah, we know.
Yeah, let this thing burn. We'll just jump over here where we belong anyway.
I love it. That's all I can say. I love it. So, again, I would go watch that video. Tim Sullivan, 365 Sports. All right. Now we're getting into the meat. And this is what you guys want to talk about. So I'm not going to make you wait any longer. But we're going to have to jump through a few pages to get to all of it. This is the recap for Florida State and the ACC. We're gonna go through the article, but the recap really is all we're gonna need to talk about. This is basically everything the ACC has lost. FSU versus the ACC, Tallahassee still a thing. It's not going anywhere. The judgment is going to be settled in Florida. So there's your jurisdiction. ACC versus FSU, North Carolina, also still a thing. Everybody knew it. Clemson versus ACC, South Carolina, still a thing. So, again, where it's located. ACC versus Clemson, North Carolina, you guessed it, same thing. But the last one is the one that I think made me laugh, was Florida AG versus ACC, hasn't gone anywhere either. Tell us a little bit about what that means, Rock.
Well, to me, the last one's the most important for me, like, is whether, because the Attorney General herself trying to, on behalf of the state, get access to the whole media rights deal and the Florida transparency laws. And that's either everyone's been right and ESPN is dreadfully scared of that getting out there, which is sort of backed by the conferences and others doing friends of the court kind of things about not wanting that out, or we're all wrong and they don't care, and if it comes out, it's no big deal. So to me, that's the one that has like the most fear of God against ESPN and therefore ACC. So that's the one that I'm actually the most interested in, because what happens if that comes out, and they're what does ESPN and ACC do after that if they lose that judgment ruling? That's not going to take 12 months to litigate.
We've got more to talk about on that point. Exactly. Moen, did you want to say anything before I move on?
Billable hours remains undefeated. Did I mention that earlier?
Yes, you did. Just so everybody knows, I did post the link. The Matt Baker is a stud, so I encourage you to go and see his stuff. All right. This is where we start getting into the meat, and this is something that Rock was just talking about a little bit. Tallahassee judge denies ACC motion to dismiss Florida State lawsuit. Case will go forward. This is not Matt Baker, by the way. This is a different article that I kind of found had some different, or at least a different way of reporting the same information. That is Liam Rooney, and I just posted the link. This is not very long, actually. It says, in his email, Cooper, that's the judge, also denied the motion to pause discovery, guys. Pause discovery. It's a process that allows parties to obtain evidence before trial. This would allow FSU and the ACC to request contracts, communications, and other documents for use as evidence. That's the big one right now, right? Besides jurisdiction, isn't it all about the reveal of the ESPN contract?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whether that's the Florida State two versions of that in the state of Florida, or the Clemson version of trying to, have their status clarified, which is sort of which is related to all of that as well on a separate level.
Moen, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to what AG Moody comes up with. If she keeps pushing and pushing and pushing and gets that sunshine law in effect on that contract, Florida State's not going to win any friends or influence people.
There's a bunch of other discovery and filings on this, and then we'll get down here to these last two paragraphs. The ruling comes just days after the third hearing between the two parties, FSU, ACC, and I would, tangentially, that also will affect Clemson, in which Cooper denied the conference's motion to dismiss based on personal jurisdiction, and ruled that the remainder of the hearing would be done via paper or email.
Super Cooper.
Well, let me say that again. Paper. The rest of the hearing will be done on paper or email. So he's sick of talking to the ACC. That's what I take from that. That personal jurisdiction is the legal term that refers to a court's power to make decisions affecting a particular person or entity. Go ahead, Rock.
I was going to say, that judge, if this was the OJ trial, he would be being mocked on Saturday Night Live. He's like either the best judge, best worst judge ever, the worst best judge. It's just amazing watching.
Well, I think it just gets better. This just rounds out the conversation. This is a similar ruling to what the ACC received in North Carolina, where a Mecklenburg County judge denied FSU's motion to dismiss the lawsuit in North Carolina. FSU has since appealed that decision to the North Carolina Supreme Court, something the conference will have an option to do in Florida. So we talked at the very beginning, it might end up in the Supreme Court, might end up going federal, and it's doing that. But the tempo of the Florida judge seems to be a little bit faster than the tempo in North Carolina.
Super Cooper. Super Cooper, guys. Hey, let's just play a quick game, okay?
Sure, yeah.
Lawsuit. So sometimes like the lawsuit stuff gets a little heavy and you can add a little jest with it and everything. But I'm really curious to see how you guys feel about who's winning the lawsuit. So everybody out there in the chat and everything, I'm going to share my screen here. So let's just do a little advancement here. This is a game right here called the ACC lawsuit horse race.
I love it.
This is the ACC lawsuit horse race. And how the odds are right now is we're on the second furlong the ACC is riding right now. But Clemson and Florida State have now entered the fourth furlong here. I'm just curious, guys, do you think that these odds are still right here? I think that FSU and Clemson are combined winning this race over the ACC, and I think they basically have two legs up on the ACC right now. So where would you position these horses at the moment?
Moan, you go first.
They're both in the first furlong.
What? Really?
Yes.
You don't think they're very along, man?
Yes, the winner of the race is already at the finish line, guys. And that's Miami. Because they're letting Florida State do all the heavy lifting in Florida.
Right.
And they're going to be able to use every bit of that without spending $1.
But
$1.
Let me interrupt for just a second. They haven't sued yet, though. So there is still the possibility of the timing thing where the ACC pre-sues Miami. I think Miami ought to sue them back right now.
They could, but once precedent is set in that Florida State case,
right?
Miami's just out the door. So,
yep.
So, Moan, you're saying we're both in the first furlong here. So,
Bomber, hours. Yeah, they're not. I don't think they're going to leave the ACC this year. I think this is going to stretch into next year. So I think we're still in the maybe second furlong, the very early part of second furlong.
Are we still tied in this lawsuit, or do you think that the Noles and the Tigers are starting to pull?
I still think we're tied as long as that ACC lawsuit keeps going in North Carolina.
Gotcha. Okay, where do you think, Bomber? Where are we at, and who's winning this race?
Okay, I definitely think the ACC's behind, but as far as distance, if we break, how many boxes is that? Is that 10?
Yeah,
10
we've
boxes?
got it's 10 boxes.
Yeah, I think we're probably with process procedure. Yeah, I like where the horse is for the ACC. I think the other one should be just maybe one ahead of them. I'm thinking that the amount is maybe not as much content. It hasn't really moved with the process.
All right, Rock. How about you? Are you in agreement here with the second furlong and third furlong?
I'm more on the same gap, but more, first and second furlong. Before all of this, the lawsuits got done, initiated, I would have thought that 2027 was when schools might get to enter the conference. And if a lot of things broke well, maybe 2026. FSU potentially opened the door for 2025. But I don't think the race will get completely run, because I think it's very possible that somebody like ACC, their horse gets like injured on the race and just falls down, right? Because if the ESPN deal comes out, like the race could just stop running for them,
right?
Depending upon the pressure that's going on. And then in terms of the other things, first, you should get an NIL deal from Google Sheets, and then
I love it.
Every time, we're gonna get more of that tonight. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, and every time that Judge Cooper says Miami, like, they save $1 million during the hearing. So
there we go.
There we have it. There's the college football mafia consensus.
Sweet.
Here we put a first furlong.
A point of order here, though. Shouldn't that be a cow in the Florida State?
Yes,
a cow.
Milk
hey,
it.
This is Renegade, the Florida State mascot. I just need to add some huge udders to this sucker right here.
All right.
From what I know, it's Ben sucking you, and you're sick of it.
Yep.
That's how I think the quote went there, Moen. All right, let's get to some comments. Our last story is going to be Clemson, ACC, and where that's going to go in comparison to Miami. We'll get there in a second, but let's get through some super chats. First of all, we got a $2 super chat. Marcus Williams in the house. LFG, go blue. He paid $2.
Say it, Moan. Say it. You got to say it.
I ain't got to say shit.
LFG, go blue.
I love it. It's fine. I'll say it. He doesn't have to. Did the sounder go? I didn't hear it.
It did, but I give him another one.
Yeah.
Let's go get drunk.
Beavis and Butthead, always the best. All right, Glenn Lumen, our loyal member of the Mafia family since the beginning, he lives in the Philippines, by the way. Good morning from the Philippines. The ACC will hang on forever. They have no incentive to compromise. We all agree with that, right?
Yeah.
They really are all or nothing.
Time for the ACC. Yeah.
Yep.
Like, how much money you think you're going to get out of this deal? Every day that goes by, like, that settlement money is going down and down. Really, yeah. So they're in trouble. Yeah, they don't want to settle this thing. I mean, in the ACC perfect world, they just milk Florida State till 2036.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I mean, that milk's running dry, though.
Yeah. Moen or Brock, you want to add anything to that?
I just can't end it right now with the milk.
Okay, all right. We'll move along. Becky Go Huskies, a member and also a contributor to the College Football Mafia network. Her and Sergeant Pickles have a show Monday nights, 8 Eastern, and they talk. Their focus is on Big Ten West schools. They're trying to build that up because they're going to need a lot of help going into the Big Ten. And Moen is sort of helping along with that. So appreciate you being here, Becky. Pac-12 logos are disappearing on the former team's fields and courts now.
Kind of sad a little bit from a Pac-12 guy here. Becky shared a picture of the Big Ten logo now on the Washington court.
Oh.
And it's just kind of a shocker to see that and everything. But that is reality and got to accept it. So go Huskies, go Utes, go Big 12, go Big 10.
Yeah, that $65 million that Washington and Oregon are going to collect, I think that they'll be able to wipe away some tears.
Those numbers were ridiculous, by the way. I'm not sure we're going to make it to that story, but those numbers are nuts. All right, Rock, I'll let you finish.
No, we're good.
Okay, all right.
I have nothing valuable to contribute.
Just wanted to make sure we were listening. All right, TF Williams, another member, says that is why it is being fought so hard to keep hid. Talking about that media contract for the ACC. It's absolutely true. Everybody, please keep giving your comments or suggestions. We're going to run through those tonight, try and get it through as many as we can. We prefer member messages, but it's not exclusive. And then super chats, we do all of them ourselves. All right. Illini Ted says Louisville is probably the only school that both wants the Big 12 and the Big 12 exclusively wants them. I would agree with that. How about you guys?
What do you think, Rock?
I think that they wanted the, I think at the time, if they had been given Big 12 and ACC at the same time, they would have chosen the ACC then, right? I think they're just also, some people are just good at dealing with reality and making the best of whatever situation is. And it seems to me that school is like one of those that knows what's playing out and they're going to, be in the right position at the right time.
Yeah, I think they jumped straight from bargaining to acceptance.
Yeah, they skip a couple steps.
Yeah,
for sure. I also think that
Yeah.
if they're the first one to leave, they might be Colorado. They may get a premium. They might get preferential terms. All those things are possible if you're the first school to break the ice.
Well, you know who the fourth best viewership team in the ACC is? The Louisville Cardinals, right there. So, I mean, you lose Louisville, that hurts big time.
Right.
Like that's unspoken. That's Lamar Jackson, right?
Let me get back here. We did a Louisville. I'm going to bring this up because we didn't highlight it at the beginning because I wanted the news. Sorry, let me get that comment off there. We did a Louisville WildUte University. It's a members-only video. Why don't you tell everybody really quick what was that about, Ute?
Yeah, we took a look at Louisville, put them in the model, the Big 12 expansion model, to see how they would score out and everything. And you'll want to take a look at that. It just it shows you how good a candidate Louisville really is at the end of the day for the Big 12 and for what the Big 12 wants, desires, will pursue and everything. So that is going to be one of the top targets. Miami and Louisville will be the top two targets for the Big 12. Those two,
no doubt.
And Louisville is probably the one that's most likely of anybody. But like no one's talking about if Louisville happened to make that move and the P2 grabbed a bunch of schools, what that would do for the ACC, because Louisville is truly the fourth best football viewership school. They yield over 1 million per game, and that's kind of rare house in the ACC. So Louisville is a dang good brand, good football, good basketball, has rivalry history with Big 12. Man, it's an easy slam dunker.
You guys want to add anything to that?
No, depending upon how their season goes, there's very mixed early season predictions for Louisville because they've lost a lot of people, but they actually have an excellent coach and they've done some good things too. But they could, the top four in the conference could easily exceed the percentages in the TV viewership share from recent years if things shake out the way, early season prognosticators do, where you have 3 or 4 of those teams in the top 25. And if, a couple of them don't completely underperform, the 4 of those guys can really grow a lot for this coming season.
And thinking about how you could do the private equity thing we're going to talk about here for a second, and using that as an idea to get schools to the Big 12. Originally, they weren't on my list. I'd pay for Clemson. I'd play for Clemson, Florida State, Miami, and then I had UNC on there. To me now, Louisville is that fourth. If they did get $1 billion and the separation fees $250, made in the shade. Anyway, the rest of these videos, just want to pump them up. These membership videos, what are they, Bowen?
They're videos for members only. We've got WildUte University, Timeline, Moen Rants. I'm going to have a real good Moen Rants coming up on Notre Dame, as always. But I've really got a good one on them this time. So
these are all members only videos. We encourage you to sign up. And then tonight, really quick, we're 45 minutes in. Tell everybody,
man, so
excited. Done in 45 minutes.
So excited to jump into this live members only live show. Brand new content, looking at Miami, taking a deep dive in the Canes, taking a deep dive into the data, looking at Big 12 fit for Canes, looking at Big 10 fit again based on even new information. So it is going to be a long one. It was going to be a good one, and we're going to learn some new info. Can't wait for that.
I love it. Thank you so much. And that's 45 minutes away, everybody. So sign up right now or give a gift membership to somebody. And we want as many people in that show as possible. Also, we have a special gift that is going to be a paid for sounder. A $5 super chat gets you this.
I'm just going to tease it. I'm not going to play it all.
They've been sucking you, sucking you, sucking you. They've been sucking you, sucking you, and sucking you. They've been sucking you, sucking you, and sucking you. Dude, that's so painful, Moan.
It's like 15, 20 seconds. So $5 super chat. We will drop that. Anybody who wants to do a $5 super chat for the sounder, just put it in the comment. All right,
we're going to get a remix with the video done and get one of the big reaction music channels to do a review and see if we can get it to go viral.
Let's do it.
Gosh.
I'm all for it. The next time you play it, though, we got to be doing some square dancing here, guys. Put in your shoulders. Let's get into this. Okay. All
You're
right.
a bad man, Moan. You're a very bad man.
I know.
Let me get to this last story, and then we're going to go straight to member comments. Clemson, ACC discussed not suing each other until August.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work. I'm going to post the link to this article. Oh, I don't have it. Well, I'll find the link to that and I'll post it. Go ahead. Anyway, you.
Yeah, so for this article right here, it kind of sums up what Rock was talking about earlier, the pinky promise, right? The pinky promise amongst the ACC and the Tigers not to sue each other before August. And it didn't work because it was a dumb idea. What do you have to say about that, Rock?
When you call 1-800-Lawyers, that's what you get. And apparently that's where the ACC is hiring their legal representation.
Yeah, this blew me away. The fact, not that they tried it, I actually would have thought it, of course, was going to happen, but it came out like this. That's where I was surprised. Moen, you're pretty quiet down there.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is exactly why I put it in the thumbnail. Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro.
This is the ultimate trust me, bro.
Trust me, bro.
Well, it's the alliance all over again. It's like the ACC can't get away from these pinky promise, things. The emails, anyway, show discussions between the two sides after Florida State versus ACC litigation began. So we all know the timing. Clemson sued to get out before they were sued by the ACC first. They tried to do this side agreement. Don't sue us and we won't sue you. They said, walk away. And now we know where they are. So at the end of the day, this story being by itself, I think is just indicative of how the ACC is treating these schools. They don't come across as partners to me. Do they, Rock?
No, they come across as the always conspiring conference with Jim Phillips, not even doing, and I get it, like there's optics and everything to that, but his comments the other day, just, sticking their foot more into the cement, but they're the ones who are actually going to get caught in it and just like stuck, right? They're not doing anything by their sort of take no prisoners approach, because they're the ones who are going to be thrown in jail or not even existing when it's all said, getting a death penalty of their own.
Moen, do you want to add any more to that? Jim
Phillips, big words for a small man.
Is he small? I've never seen him. At the end of the day, Clemson's they're in the ditch, right? Florida State's in the ditch. If I was running Miami, I know Miami's a private school. Maybe they don't have so much in reserves, but we know they have funding for football and their athletics in general. Just get your lawyers on it and just do it. What do you have to lose? We've talked about it 100 times. Suing the ACC, there's nothing they can do to you. It's not against their bylaws to get sued. So to me, why not do it? Maybe you're out $1 million in legal fees. Who the hell cares?
Yeah,
hey,
Rock, come on, get Miami on. Get that lawsuit.
Yeah, I was gonna call the Greenberg Targ and see if they can, make us a co-signer. Optically, I wish that they were. I'm not 100% sure that it all matters in the end, but I still think there's there's a bunch below the iceberg that we all don't know is going on, and I'm trying to be a little bit optimistic about that, though that could turn out to be delusional.
Well, no, explore that a little bit. Tell everybody what you're thinking.
The more things are in the news, and the more things are become. I watch enough shows and I watch enough news things to be like, you can't separate where a news story starts and the communities stop. And so that means to me, there's always something that nobody is thinking of or aware of or conversations. And sometimes that means that the obvious is actually what's going to happen. And sometimes that means that the things that are happening, the loudest voices aren't necessarily the ones getting what they think. And there's a ton of those moments in history, both from like a sports perspective or a media rights deal, loud guy talking for Discovery about, we don't really need the NBA. Cool. You might not get the NBA, right?
Right. Exactly right. And I think, again, I'm going to use Colorado as an example. They dealt on the side for months. Greg Pflugar knew about it. Peek around the corner knew about it months ahead of time. It wasn't just one day he woke up on Wednesday and said, we're out, peace out. So I agree with you. The schools you're not hearing from that aren't called North Carolina, I think Louisville, they could all be thinking about doing something. Are you guys worried about
the ACC would have learned a lesson, though, from the alliance?
Right.
The no contract alliance, like the pinky promises going on and everything, and realize there was different leadership at that time, but that's just like case in point of just the stuff that they're trying to pull. How can you not learn from those mistakes? And then all of a sudden this news cycle comes out and you look like you've got so much egg on your face. The worst time too, right? Doing pinky promises with Clemson. Don't sue me. You don't sue me. I won't sue you. Like, just how crazy is that, guys? Like, just say that they had agreement not to sue each other, like a pinky promise.
That would, if I was Miami or Louisville, that would scare me, because that tells me
leadership,
they could be suing Louisville first. They could be suing Miami first.
Where's the leadership in this conference? They're doing pinky promises here. I don't get it. It's crazy stuff. Brett Yormark has run laps over these guys, Jim Phillips and stuff in this ACC office. You almost feel bad for him. Like, this is so reminiscent of the Pac-12 scenario with George Kliavkoff, like just the stupidity and crazy stuff that was going on and the stuff that he was saying and a desperation. This is what it looks like right here for the ACC.
But he's not shopping in the Big 12.
Yeah. The Pac-12 stopped the Big 12 a year and a half before that, though. It's true. They did do that.
All right. Anything else on that before I start getting back to comments? Okay. First of all, I want to follow up on this. Becky, you've been a member of the team, a collaborator, and you're also a paid member. And I very much appreciate that. I don't take it for granted. I sort of zoom past it trying to get to something else. But your comment is very important. And we appreciate you being with us and a member for as long as you have. I really appreciate it. Let's get to some more comments. Let's go here. First of all, Cleveland Rocks. One of the OGs says, hit that like button. Everybody hit the like button. It literally this second, just click it. Anyway, we'll get past that. Shonsky's popping in from Salt Lake. He says, nobody is winning or losing. They just barely figured out the starting point. So he's questioning Moen.
He's not questioning me because I said that kind of.
In jest?
I think, yeah.
Okay.
I said first or second furlong. But Miami's the one that's winning.
Right. Thanks, Sean, for being here. We really appreciate it. Stick around for that member show. You're going to love it. Another comment from TF Williams. I think the ESPN agreement frees FSU and Clemson because of the wording. I don't know. They're so dicey. Rock, you got your head up and down.
I'm just like, what wording? We haven't seen the agreement, right? So
Clemson
you think he's talking about the regular Gore?
Oh, the regular Gore. Yes, I hope that I don't disagree. I think a lot of people could interpret that way. That's one of those things that I'm sure lawyers are going to argue to death and are arguing to death is ironclad or not, right?
Doesn't Clemson have access to the ESPN agreement right now?
And I thought they did win that. Yeah, I thought they would.
They have access to that document, but they just can't share it with anybody. You guys think that they're going to Morse code Florida State into that information? You think they're going to do something sneaky under the table,
I would be willing,
trying to get a little bit over the nose?
In 5 years,
I would just be like,
go ahead.
I'd say I would just be like, hey guys, you want to come over to the ADs to check out our new offices? I'm going to go outside for a second.
Oh, you pick up that paper and dropped it.
Because I get in big trouble if you did.
I literally think in 5 years, we're going to start hearing about third-party communications. I predict it. It's going to happen.
Because before, that document was under lock and key, and you'd have to go get like a security license to go see it, right? Right. And now all of a sudden, Clemson has it in hand. Like, the cat's gone out of the bag. It's just a matter of time.
Right. Exactly. All right. Next comment here from Irvin Williams. Good to see you, Irvin. You're not a member. I would encourage you to sign up and be a member for our show tonight. And then watch those other videos that are in our library. Anyway, if FSU is doing all the heavy lifting, a Miami fan should never call FSU broke again. Did you call FSU broke?
Never have. FSU actually denies, look, just fix the plumbing at Doak and we won't call you broke anymore.
Oh, okay. So it's an inside rib. I gotcha. Okay, thanks.
I don't even know if that's what it is. I don't know that I've called them broke personally, so I'm not even sure that that's like a meme that's penetrated everybody on Miami's perspective. But of course, Miami. Oh, I know Miami only ever buys players, never recruit them, but the other way is completely wholesome. It's like milk.
Hey, and I want to clear this up too. Rock is a Miami fan. He's part of the team, but all the Florida State people, we still love you, right? We've been in your corner from the very beginning. So let's not get stuff twisted just because Rock's here tonight.
And if you don't like me, it's your own doing, because the only reason why I'm even in this community is because all of you just took shots all the time, and I finally got fed up and called into Flugar. So, Eminem monster. So,
right. Chris G says WildUte is bar the most annoying person on your podcast.
I think that he meant by far the most annoying. So
by bar, what do you say
or bar none?
Oh, bar none. None. So. Either way, much appreciated. My kids think the same exact thing, Chris G.
I highlighted that because I'm usually the one that gets accused of that. So.
Okay. I was just having a hard time understanding, a little slow. Let's see here. Clay Johansson, another member, says, per your model, looks like Syracuse, UConn, and Louisville are coming back to the Buckeyes 12.
The Buckies.
Yeah, Buckies
12.
Well, yeah, someone's been watching their WildUte University. It's right.
They have.
Play, yeah. So really, Louisville and UConn and Syracuse are all good candidates. The model likes them all for different reasons. UConn because of basketball power and market, Syracuse because of basketball and market, then Louisville because of a balanced approach and everything. So very strong candidates. The model's one thing, intuition's another thing. So you got to apply them both when you're thinking about who's the best candidate, and Louisville would be the best of those three, 100%.
And just to clear up one thing, it was either or, Syracuse or UConn. Not together.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, you don't want to add that combo.
Yeah, because they're duplicate.
There's market redundancy.
Right. Mm-hmm. Just to clear that up for him, right? So he knew. You guys want to say anything?
Well, we did say Syracuse.
Syracuse.
Times, so.
Yeah, let's do Syracuse. We can get a Georgia Tech in there. All right. The drinking game, you hear Syracuse, you hear Georgia Tech. Go ahead and take a sip if it's legal. Let's see here. Dan Miter, another member. Guys, we've got a ton of members here. We got 80 people watching. I bet you probably 60 of them are members. Hello, Big 12 Mafia. Really enjoyed the interaction with Greg F. on last show. I was on Greg Flugar's show. Let me tell you, Buckeye. You didn't say anything about that one, Moen.
I don't remember what I might have to check the memory box to try and figure out what my last call into Greg was about. Man, I know I called in, but brother, it was great. You're right. I was awesome.
There you go.
You demand, Moen. You demand.
Greg makes us all look good. Yeah, he's the OG. Appreciate it, Dan. Thank you for being here tonight. Mr. Ed Wayner, another one of our OG members. Hello, gentlemen. Has the possibility of private equity accelerated the realignment carousel? FSU and Clemson to the Big 12 because of private equity? Good grief. You clear that up?
Yeah, so that's I believe PATC was talking about that.
Yes.
Earlier tonight, that FSU and Clemson are candidates, or not candidates, but they're
vetting them. They're talking about
betting them that they might end up in the Big 12 if a big private equity deal works out. I don't think that's very realistic, honestly. I don't think the Noles or the Tigers end up in the Big 12. The Canes are a different story, while unlikely still. We'll talk about that a lot here in a bit. But really, private equity is a tool to get and leverage schools like a Louisville, like a Miami, and perhaps like a North Carolina State, to pluck them to finish off the ACC. Yeah, but really for FSU and Clemson, that's kind of wishful thinking.
You guys want Rock or Mo? You want to add anything?
Just the popcorn was delicious watching those moments though on PATC. I was thirsty, but the popcorn filled me up, so it was good.
There we go. Hey, Mr. Ed, thank you for being here. Stick around. We got that members video coming. You're gonna love it. Cleveland Rocks, $5 super chat. Viewership for all ACC teams would skyrocket joining the Big 12. That's something that individual schools should definitely consider. Thoughts? And I'm going to ask the Miami person. He happens to be here tonight. What do you think about that, Rock?
I guess it depends on when you say all ACC teams, like who's going, because like my respect for the Big 12 conference is sort of the same thing you guys have talked about, where there is not really a top or a bottom, but it's all sort of mid. So I think it's going to be completely dependent upon how those teams are ranking. Like from a Miami fan perspective, if somebody was if Miami was in the Big 12 and Kansas State was not ranked, no one would care about that game coming to that game. If it was in the middle of August and it's 95 with 100% humidity, Kansas State was ranked number 9, game would be packed. Right. So, and then to some degree, I think that translates to what the rankings would be on an audience level on a television side. Granted, it's a little bit different. It's a national audience. Miami's audience is pretty dispersed, and there's brand to it. But I guess it really depends on who's coming and how are the existing schools doing? Is there any separation between everyone? Because then it makes it tune in appointment time.
Very good, Moen. You want to add anything to that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a $5 super chat. So
you're sick of it. I get it. They've been sucking you, and sucking you, and they've been sucking you, sucking you, and sucking
Let's
you.
go.
And they've been sucking you. Oh man, and you're sick of it. I get it.
I love it. Thank you, Cleveland Rock. Appreciate that.
Nobody's got anything. You could just drop the mic on Kendrick with that one, man.
You know what? Every time somebody throws in a super chat for that one, I'm going to throw a super chat back just to prevent it from being played.
Let's do super chat wars. Next comment, friend.
Bank account ready.
Brett Taylor, thanks for being here, Brett. If you're first time, make sure you subscribe and follow us all on Twitter. As a Knoll, awesome. Florida State. I love Florida State. I would prefer Miami end up in the Sun Belt Conference, but if they go to the All-State 12, that would be okay with me. So
I don't get it with Florida State. I really don't. Like, I get the hatred. There's literally no Miami fans wishing that Florida State goes somewhere where we wouldn't possibly be playing them. It just doesn't exist in that zone. Florida, we can wish them go to a lot of places that are pretty hot. But for the most part, Florida State, we want that game to happen, and the best way for that to happen is to be in the same conference, even if we're competitive on a lot of levels. I actually can't understand that concept, despite how much I want to beat Florida State for recruiting to games. I don't get it.
Very good. Moen, you want anything to that?
I think that Rock spoke to it very well from the Miami perspective.
There we go. Thank you. Appreciate you being here, Brett. Let's see here. Lee, another member, says Jim Phillips hasn't realized that alliances don't work yet.
Pinky promise.
Lee's figured it out. Let's see here. Illini Ted says Jim Phillips and the ACC aren't very good at conference survivor. Jeff Probst would be disappointed. So I thought about this the other day. If I took the final eight of any survivor and I associated those commissioners with the commissioners of the top 8 in college football, who would each be, right? You'd have the one that's just trying to slip without anybody knowing them, and they're all the way to the end because they know they're not going to win. Who is that? Who's the guy who's slipping through and might make it to the very end?
Out of all the commissioners?
Not necessarily a person in just a conference, you could just say.
I think it's the All-State 12.
Do you think Brett Yormark?
Yeah.
Maybe. But Moen?
The Notre Dame athletic director.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay. No more to talk about. That's it. They sneak by all the time. All right. Here we go. $10 super chat for members. If Miami joins the Big, their home attendance would increase a good amount from retirees and traveling fans.
He's not wrong about that. There's a lot of Big Ten folks in Miami.
That is fantastic. Thank you so much, Mark. Are we going to do a sounder for him?
Let him cook.
There we go. I love that one.
Let him cook now.
It's about my favorite.
Let him cook. I said let him cook.
I was just going to say, it's written in the contract for us Big Ten fans. When you hit a certain age, you got to move to Arizona or Florida. It's the law. Sorry.
All right. Next one from Stephen Vitt. Good to see you, Stephen. Stopping by. Hey, guys. Took your talents to South Beach, Moen?
Just on vacation, man. I would never take my talents to South Beach.
Hey, Stephen, if you just got here, I want to promo. We are doing a members-only video right after this show, and it's going to be all Miami. So if you want to watch that, become a member tonight. You can watch that video, and then, of course, you have access to the rest of the library. But thank you for being here, Stephen. Mark Bowman again, another $10 super chat. If Miami joins the Big, their home attendance
the same one, brother.
I grabbed it. They grabbed the wrong one. I apologize.
Thank you, Mark.
Justin R. Yeah, right. Thank you. Double thank you. Justin R. $5 super chat. Wait, are you making Miami football jokes tonight? He's USF. What do you think about USF cracking on you now?
Man.
Whatever, dude. Call me when you win a ring.
Oh, going to the bottom line.
I'll be in a ground somewhere or like spread over the ocean by the time that happens.
When was the last time you guys competed for a ring, by the way, Rocky?
It was 2002.
Pretty much more often than almost every team in the chat.
Okay, so 2000.
I was just going to say it happened in 2003.
It was January
2017, actually, we're at the end of the season before they blew the Pitt game, they were in the top 4.
By the way, I had Miami winning the championship that year.
I wish, man.
I did.
I just mean like glass houses and stuff, y'all.
Okay, I'd say scoreboard, right? Becky, go Huskies. Just another comment here. Best joke I heard was an OU fan saying OSU spent all their grandpa's money and finally got cut off and had to ask their other new stepdad for money, and that's private equity.
That T. Boone Pickens money's running out. Is that that's what I
haven't heard that. I haven't heard that.
Oh, Becky, that's a good jab right there. But yeah, Yormark, man, stepdad Yormark, he's got that money. He's got that money on the side, private equity money ready to go.
All right, so we just eclipsed 100 viewers live. Let's really quick do a quick sum up. We're about 22 minutes away from a members-only video. If you want to join right now, join the family, the College Football Mafia Network family, and we have a special show tonight. Not Mo, I have you. Why don't you tell everybody what's going on in there?
Taking a deep dive into Miami into the Big 12, looking at Miami to the Big 10. Where they belong, where they'll end up. Why? Data, intuition, logic. You'll know more. This is going to be the most comprehensive breakdown you will ever see. Promise you that. Good stuff, too. We'll make it entertaining. Might even make out. So, Moni, you always say that I won't drink 2 glasses of wine. Hey, maybe even 2 glasses of wine tonight.
Yeah. How about you? What do you think about the Miami coming up there, Rock?
Well, first, I think Justin is way drunk, so good for playing in the game.
Well, he's playing Syracuse and Georgia Tech, so
yeah, I mean, it's definitely led to a very awesome chat message, so thank you for that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what you've got to reveal, and keep coming with the pain, guys. You got to understand, like, it rolls off me. I laugh. It's like fuel. I can go on a diet with it.
I think that's hilarious.
How surprised would you be if I told you that Miami is really actually not a great candidate for the Big 12?
I would look at your data and give it the respect to review it that way that it is. I have feelings about it, and just not in a non-disrespectful way, but like, I want to see what you have to say, because it would be interesting. I hope for other reasons, not because I don't think the Big 12 is in an awesome conference, because it would be great to go see games with you guys. I hope it plays out that way, but I don't want it to be a bad fit. Should there be a doomsday scenario from a Miami fan perspective that you don't get into the Big 10 and the Big 12 is a terrible fit? Not that I don't think it would be taken, but you don't want it to be like drastically bad either.
All right, so we tease that. Let's not talk about it anymore. We'll talk about that in a few minutes on members only video. We've got another $5 sounder. West Virginia Earl, $5, says, Moen, we love the song, and maybe Georgia Tech would join the Big 12. Double dipping.
Georgia Tech joining the Big 12. No way they're joining the Big 10.
There we go.
Sorry.
Them and Stanford. You got the sounder? You got it?
Drunk.
Make sure you don't miss that one from Justin just above it.
Oh yeah, thank you. That folded in. USF is beating Miami on September 24th. He said he's calling his shot. Thank you for the super chat, Justin.
By saying he was freaking taking the drinking game seriously.
Yeah, I got you. All right, let's get to a few more comments. We're running out of time here. I want to get running as many people we can get in. Becky, go Huskies again. If that contract gets out, probably will irritate the SEC Big and Big 12 as much as it would the ACC. I would actually say they're the ones who are at better risk than even the ACC. That's why they filed with them, right?
Burn it down. Burn it down. What do we have to lose as Big 12 fans, Bomber? Burn it down. Get it out there. Cause havoc.
Yes.
Your mark can thrive in havoc. So get it all out there. Make the SEC sweat. Make the Big 10 sweat. Sweat.
Moen, Moen or Rocky.
That's not the best way to win friends or influence people in terms of conference realignment. I can speak from knowledge that people in the Big 10 are not happy about it. And that might play a part in, certain things happening.
That's what I think. Like when I allude to maybe we are all wrong on something, it could be something like that. Like that you don't know of like how you move, what does it do? Ultimately, I think at the end of the day, it probably doesn't do that. But there are more than one way to move. And I am one advocating that I wish Miami was more vocal about it. But we shall see. And things like what Moen are saying right now could impact, who do you want to have in your house all of the time? Maybe there's a better way to do it. I don't know.
Dan Miter, another comment, says, Greg said, let me tell you, Buckeye, to Moen on the Minnesota Rising.
Yeah, because Minnesota's not going to surpass Wisconsin this year. Wisconsin's going to keep the axe.
That's what it is.
And Wisconsin's going to finish ahead of Minnesota. I'm sorry, Greg, but Minnesota's just not that good.
Okay.
In other words, they suck.
Tempest, another member. All these members, I'm so happy tonight. Miami beating University of Florida at Rock and Rant. So, do you believe that?
I absolutely believe it. I think it will be closer than it should be based off of the roster, because it is that we get to play every few years. It's there. But, man, I would love to be the first nail on yet another Florida coach getting fired.
Yeah, I think this is the year.
We start the nail, and like Florida State comes in at the end and just like puts the freaking grave marker up.
And then Deion Sanders pulls in his Bugatti, sets up camp in where is that? It's not Gainesville, right? Tony Lawson says, Mona Vision, where is Scooby Doo?
Like zoink, Scoob, where are you at?
Oh my gosh. Some of the ones you picked just crack me up. Absolutely. Let's see here. TF Williams says, I agree with you, and I think the perception of the ACC has this taken a very big hit as a good old boy run conference, and it would only get worse.
Oh my gosh. How bad would it get if Florida State and Clemson left? Oh my. wine and cheese. I mean, it would have to be less expensive wine and less expensive cheese, but there'd be more of it.
Yeah, very possible. Anybody else want to comment on that?
I was going to say, I'm just imagine the ACC taking that title from the SEC of the good old boy run.
Yeah, you know who would deliver the cheese, though?
Who's that?
I am the milkman. My milk is delicious.
All right, moving right along. We're 15-minute countdown, just letting everybody know we've got a bunch of comments that are marked between now and the end of the show. Got about 15 minutes to get your super chats in. Otherwise, we probably won't get them on now. We're through all, I think, most of the member quotes. So 15 minutes, and then we're doing a members-only show. All right. Let's see. Shonsky, sorry. I'll just do this one. Shonsky says, WildUte, thanks for giving to BYU NIL.
Hey.
You know what he's talking about?
No, I don't know what he's talking about, but did you throw a gift for me at the NIL program? Shonsky, don't do that. Don't do that.
That would be mean. That would not be nice. Sergeant Pickles, random side note, Cougar Gold Cheese is the best college affiliated dairy product. I would challenge anybody against BYU's ice cream and chocolate milk, just dessert in general.
Well, for going down there,
desserts in general, I love it. BYU.
Have you ever seen the size of a cougar tail, Moan? Rock. Do you know what a cougar tail is? Do you guys know what a cougar tail is?
I have absolutely zero idea.
Okay, so cougar tail is like the big thing, the tailgate thing to do at the BYU tailgate in the games. It's a big donut, like a big maple donut, bar, right?
Yeah.
Like maple bars are usually this long. The cougar tail is 10 times longer. It's like this
3 feet long.
It's 3 feet long, and like it's crazy because you'll see kids and stuff, like BYU fan kids stuffing those in their mouth.
Yeah,
it's crazy stuff that goes on down there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that an attempt to lose your kids as they bounce off of the walls and the cars with sugar rushes? Like, what's the story there?
All I know is BYU wins and desserts in general, guys.
They do.
I love it.
They're good at desserts.
All right, Becky, go Huskies. No one is winning. It's a tie. So there's the horse race evaluation. TF Williams, ACC should be proactive and settle with FSU and Clemson. And try to save what they can and pick up a few good G5 teams. Let's go around the horn. Moen, why is that maybe not easy to do?
Well, one, how many good G5 teams are left?
Exactly.
Think about it. Tulane gets you the New
Boise
Orleans
State.
market, maybe. Boise State, I don't think is a great G5 team. Just the brand has suffered since Peterson left, and it doesn't have a huge population area. So
they're going to be good this year, though.
Tulane, Memphis would be another good one. Untapped market, really. But who else?
USF.
Yeah,
USF. Yeah, USF would be one. Especially if they lose Miami and Florida State, they would have to.
San Diego State, people are going to say San Diego State. People are going to say maybe Air Force to get in with the other academies. Anyways. Yeah, it's rough. All the good teams that were even marginal are now in conferences. So the fluff is really gone, right? And what is the total team count? Are we 69 now? Ute total Division One. I think it's 69. A nice round number, 72. So they like round numbers. Although the basketball tournament's about to go to 80, which is kind of crazy. I don't understand that. Irvin Williams says, Miami can't even take a knee. Why do you think they would sue the ACC?
Just wondering where Irvin lives because I just want to know the next place that Miami is living rent-free.
That's fair. That's fair.
Miami's so irrelevant, but everybody knows how to take a shot. It's so amazing.
Yeah. Well, I think that says you're like Oregon. The brand is what's being attacked. BYU fans can't have coffee, but can have a 3-foot-long maple bars. What a time to be alive. By the way, the ice cream for visiting fans in Provo is amazing.
It is amazing.
There we go. Becky,
wait, is that still true? You guys can't have coffee still?
No coffee.
Oh.
Everything, Coca-Cola is okay.
Okay.
Yeah. That.
By the way,
just dispel a rumor. that took over for like 30 years, Coca-Cola was never outlawed. It was taken out of context in one leadership talk, and everybody ran with it. And they had 9 million members of the church out not able to drink Coke without sinning. Anyway, that's all fixed. It's not like that anymore. Clay Johansson coming in here at the end. Good to see you, Clay. I would delay. See what ESPN is going to do. That time in February is huge. That date is. If ESPN doesn't pick up the bill, get a media deal, but got to delay till February of next year.
This pinky promise that you guys will all stay together.
Put your pinkies up, guys.
Yeah, I don't put pinkies up.
Let's spit in the palm of our hands and shake hands.
I honestly don't know. I don't think there's anything proactive ACC can do now except for pre-sue people, pre-sue Miami, pre-sue Louisville, pre-sue Virginia Tech. Other than that, they have no choices.
Just have those lawsuits ready to go, all written up and everything. Yeah. Beat them to the courthouse.
Well, they have a limit on how many they could theoretically do that at, right? Because then you suddenly trigger a moment where you can't get the vote because you have enough people to vote against even the meeting happening.
That's right.
Right, and I don't know what that next if they did this preemptive, since we're doing realignment fantasy camp, like if that were to happen at a certain point, you're like, no, you're not even going to get quorum to do the meeting, to do the lawsuit, and you're not going to be able to get away with it again. You already did it once retroactively to Florida State back in December, and you're not playing that we didn't know twice thing.
All right, very good. The Architect, we've seen him before. Good to have you here, Architect. What is going on with Virginia Tech, fellas? Beamer's days are gone, but don't they have some value? I'm going to let you answer that directly, Ute, and then I would just put in there beforehand. I would love Georgia Tech to be in the Big 12. Go ahead, Ute.
Yeah, Virginia Tech is a perplexing one right here. So Virginia Tech and UConn are the two biggest mind warps in realignment based on the data. And UConn, for one, is a very good candidate based on the data, which is hard to digest for some Big 12 fans. And Virginia Tech, as far as like the models go, the data goes, is a really bad candidate. They're a really bad candidate, guys. Like did a video on this one. It's surprising to even say still, but Virginia Tech, what you have to ask yourself this: outside of the football sellout crowds and Enter Sandman and the brand that comes with that, what does Virginia Tech bring to the table in the realignment game? They certainly don't bring basketball. They certainly don't bring big market. Their football viewership is really below average, even like compared to a lot of Big 12 schools. So it's a tough sell for Virginia Tech. When people just think that Virginia Tech is going to end up in the SEC, why? They cannot even be close to being accretive for the SEC. I don't even know if a half share accretive they would warrant that for the SEC. I just don't ever see that really happening. So the one landing spot would be the Big 12 for staying in the ACC for the Hokies. And the Hokies, if you pair them with a Miami and bring a rivalry along with that, maybe that makes sense. And I would like the Hokies personally because I think the Hokies football program is fun. Yep. And there is that brand there, like we've mentioned before, but like it's just hard to spot that on paper really how valuable Virginia Tech is. It's confusing because like when going into this whole process and everything, just based on intuition, like Virginia Tech's the biggest slam dunk, 100%. Everyone's going to want Virginia Tech, but when you dig into the details, it just doesn't reveal that at all. So
we were actually over the moon about Virginia Tech, possibly.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech was already in the Big 12. That's how much we thought about them positively. So, yeah, it is a little bit surprising. All right, I'm going to show, before we get any last comments, I think I've got most of the comments. Really quick, let me show everybody again. This is where we're going to be. Make this big. We're going, let me remove this comment here. This is where we're going to be in 5 minutes. WildUte University, Miami to the Big 12, members only. So again, if you want to become a member, Moen, why don't you tell everybody how to do that?
You can see right there, you see the little join button by the analytics. You won't get the analytics button, but you'll get the join button next to the subscribe button. You can click there, or you can go to the chat window and click the little cash icon, and you can become a member. You can gift a membership. You can leave a super chat. those are the means you have. You missed Justin's last super chat.
Oh, I'll get it.
Yeah, I like the bling there too for the
Oh,
necklaces. Behind the Big 12 logo and behind the Miami logo.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I don't know how I missed that. Justin R., $5 super chat. Thank you, Justin. Beating Florida only to lose to USF sounds like Miami to a T.
You know, I'll give it back to people sometimes, but I like to be pretty fair about my assessment of Miami despite my glasses. And Justin is 100% right. That sounds about the last 20 years of my life.
Okay. All right. Anyways, everybody, that's what we're going to be here in just a couple minutes. So get those memberships done and get ready to join us over there.
Well,
Do we want to do a song for Justin?
Yeah, I think we do. It's a $5 super chat.
Go for it.
We need to do this. It's the law, actually.
They've been sucking you, sucking you, sucking you. They've been sucking you, sucking you, and sucking you. They've been sucking you, sucking you, and sucking you. You're sick of it. I get it.
Thank you, Justin. We appreciate it. We always love hearing that. Did I get the West Virginia Earl one? I want to make sure. Moen, we love this song, and maybe Georgia Tech would join the Big 12. Okay.
Hey, guys, maybe Georgia Tech will join the Big 10, and that ain't bullshit.
Maybe.
Yeah, right.
Possible.
Listen. I'm putting it out there.
What do you got, Moen? Time to come out.
No, I'm putting it out there. Georgia Tech might join the Big 10.
There we go.
Moen's basically saying he thinks we're going to 24 in the Big 10. Which he has said before.
Right. Yeah. Sergeant Pickles, we're going to end with the chat because he used my name. That always helps to get on the screen. Bomber, BYU fan traditions get even more strange knowing they aren't intoxicated at all, man. They're just high on life, baby. You know, thin oxygen, you're just high on life. So anyway, all right, we are done. I've gone through all our chats and everything else. What I'm going to do is really quick. I want to give everybody a chance to sign out. Moen, you go first because you're going to the other one.
I'm going to go pee before we go to the other one, but
okay, that's fine.
after that, we're going to talk. Yeah, they did. They want to know what I'm doing in my personal life.
Okay.
It's about personal life and pop culture, guys.
I apologize.
So we're going to go over and do the Miami to the Big 12 video, and we will see you all there. Peace out.
All right, you're next. You got to go set it up.
Absolutely. So can't wait to get into this one. Hope to see you over there. If you're a member of the channel, please hop over and everything. Let's make it really interactive. Questions along the way. We'll get all the questions answered. Be a lot of good stuff here. So in the meantime, I'm going to grab a beer, though, to make this one a fun one. We're going to have a good time, guys. So see you in a second.
Thanks, you. Appreciate it. Yep. Rock, thank you so much for being here again on Big Freakin' Friday. Friday. I hope this is a full-time thing. Are you going to have fun? Are you doing okay?
Well, we'll see. We'll see what youth got in store for my Miami zone, but
all right.
All in good nature. Nothing really roils me in this kind of way. I can't really be super trolled. I don't block people, so it's all good.
You're pretty laid back. Yeah.
And I have an on-off switch. It just goes high before it goes on, and we've never hit that zone. But I'm definitely looking forward. As a reminder, if you missed the beginning of the show, definitely go back in and watch it. Hit the like, subscribe. We could use that. Get us over to 4,000. Get these guys who worked hard there. But on Tuesday, we have Alonzo Heith, currently senior personnel executive with the New England Patriots. Previous roles at the Cleveland Browns, the Green Bay Packers, Seattle Seahawks, as well as a few years back in Miami in a GM operational role, coming into the show on Tuesday. And we can ask him a ton of questions from all of his background back to the days as one of the Miami OGs and a first-round draft pick, but also the state of college football right now, like guy who was in the mix over the last 2 years at Miami, the professionalization of the sport, scouting, players making bad decisions, going for the draft too early, all these kind of things that we talk about, someone who actually was on the firing lines of that.
And he also, just by the way, works for the Patriots. So, and it's not like he's at home watching Mad Men reruns, right? So, all right. I'm going to let you go, Rock. Thank you so much for being here tonight with me.
Thank you.
You bet. See you in a minute. All right.
Bye.
Last thing. Just pump this one more time. Click the link. It's in the main Big 12 Mafia, College Football Mafia page. It's the very first live link you see. Basically, to get watch it, you hit the join button. join will pop up with the options, different membership levels. All of them get you access to the videos. And we're really looking forward to seeing everybody there. Great night tonight. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you had fun. We sped up quite a bit so we could get to this other event, but we hope you guys had fun. And most importantly, we supplied information. We had fun doing it. Yeah, we made fun of ourselves and other people. But at the end of the day, we're taking the information that has been given, cycling it, processing it, and then doing educated prognostication. So we're not predicting the future. We are basically saying these are the things that could happen. All right. I think that's it. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. If you're not following the other guys, follow me on Twitter. Turn on your notifications. Let's see. What am I missing? Subscribe on YouTube. That's really important. We're 40 subscribers short of 4,000. If you guys could help us get there, maybe go on Twitter. That's asking a lot. Well, if you wanted to promote the YouTube page, let's just see if we can get 40 subs tonight. Anyway, probably not, but I appreciate everybody's help. I love you guys so much. Everything we do for you. And make sure you let me know if there's stuff that needs to change or we're not doing, or more stuff we could be doing. That's what we're here for. Everybody have a great night. Stay out of trouble. And if you're a member, catch us over now live on the other show for Big 12 and Miami. Peace out, everybody.